What's up, everybody? Rob J. Speck, the host here, and I'm glad to introduce another episode of Split Decisions, episode number 15, with my dudes, Ricky and Sean. How you guys doing?
Living life, man. Doing good. Feeling good.
All right, glad to hear it. Sean, what's going on, man?
Better than ever, dude. Living it up. We're back with another episode. Combat Sports. Gonna kick it to you. You know, Jake Paul is the leader of combat sports right now. We're going to talk about that. Maybe the best combat sports athlete ever. Could it be
May-
true? Could it be?
Maybe is it? I mean, Sean's firing right out the gate. So let's address that, Sean. Let's address that, my dude. Let's get you into the. I'm gonna lead you into this big screen here. You just said it. He's the biggest name in combat sports. To honestly, to a certain demographic, to a certain audience, you're speaking the truth. And I never thought in my wildest flipping dreams I'd ever be saying this sentence. And there is some validity to it, my man. He's the man of he's your generation's best boxer. How do you feel about that?
Okay. He's my age, like around my age, but I will not. Dude, this is so hard. I think the fandom, it comes from younger kids, not my age group. I still think, like, especially me, like I group myself with the hardcores. You guys know. Think you guys can vouch for me. I'm there every week with you guys watching fights. So I'm not one of these guys who just hop on the Jake Paul train just because, like, that's who got me into the sport. So it does suck to see the guys that I like going up against Jake Paul, facing him all the time and losing. It's a thing that seems to be working for Jake Paul, though, right? And it's a thing that I think will continue to be working for Jake Paul, because that list of names seems to grow every time he fights somebody and beats them. It's like every time he beats an MMA fighter, every time he beats, like, even Mike Perry, it is what he is. He's an MMA fighter. You can say he's bare knuckle. He comes from the sport of MMA. Every time he beats one of these guys that we like, we see all the time, it bums me out because, like I said, the pot grows
Amen.
deeper. It
Amen.
really does bum me out. Like I saw after this fight, I don't want to toss any names out there, but I'm gonna do it.
Do
Dustin
it.
Jacoby. Who else was tossing their names out there?
Jacoby, I think
Yeah, like,
Jacoby would actually have a pretty good chance.
well, that's the thing, though. We're having guys that are tossing their names out there that aren't even at the top of the their own sport. You know what I mean? It's just a weird thing right now. I doubt Dustin Jacoby ever gets a chance with Jake Paul just because of namesake. But, like, this is just weird territory we're in. Jake Paul's gonna keep doing it. Bigger fights for him to come. We even got that stupid Mike Tyson fight, but we'll get into that later.
We'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah, bro, a good point. I mean, let's be honest. We're talking about going over there and fighting. And then this is not my opinion of it, but I'm using the lines that people have been throwing out there. The Disney kid and blah blah blah, the YouTuber, and then all the other negative terms have been thrown at Jake. Jake be winning, man. I can't knock a guy who's winning. Yeah, he lost to another guy who is in the expertise of boxing. I've been saying this over and over again. It's a different sport, people. It's a different sport. Yes, like the overwhelming majority of us see striking and we go, oh, it's got to be related. But when it's isolated to the art form of boxing, it is a different sport. Ricky, I know you feel the same way because me and you watch a lot of boxing together. So we have this mantra going all the time. But for $2 million, are you willing to jump over to a sport that's not yours and, chance
Yeah,
it?
shit, of 100%, bro. For $200, I'll go fucking get beat up by Jake Paul right now. But it's just, I mean, listen, man. We knew what was gonna happen for the majority of people. We understood Mike Perry, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't want to be as harsh. There's somebody that was really harsh on Mike Perry, so I don't want to be that harsh to him. It was embarrassing. It was worse than I thought it was going to be. I knew Mike Perry wasn't a great boxer. I knew he was going to come out and have the Philly roll and be slipping and countering. I knew none of that shit was going to happen, but it was even worse. Like the lack of head movement, just square stance, plotting forward, Jake teeing off. It was way worse than I thought it was going to be honest with you. I thought Mike Perry would look a little bit better than he did. And it is what it is, man. I knew Jake was going to be good, but for me, unpopular opinion by someone in my demographic, meaning in their 30s, definitely an unpopular opinion here. Jake's fucking awesome, man. And the reason why I say he's awesome is because he's already past that threshold. He's already surpassed everybody in the sense of not a real fighter, right? And the way I've found out that that's true, that validation that I got was from a champion, the GWOAT, right? Herself, Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields is saying Andre Ward, calling out Andre Ward, saying, I want him to box. That should be Jake Paul's next opponent, Andre Ward. Well, two things can't exist. You can't say this guy sucks, he's not a real boxer, and then go, your next opponent should be one of the greats. Like, it doesn't work that way. You can't say those two things and they both exist. If you want Andre Ward to be the guy to fight Jake Paul, then guess what you're saying about Jake Paul? He's pretty fucking good. And whether I think he's championship material or not, which to be honest, I still don't think he can be like one of the best boxers in the world. I think he's a far away from it. But the truth of the matter is, somebody with his background who picked up the sport as late as he did should not be doing the things he's doing. Whether you like it or not, whether you can say, hey, put him on a drug test, we don't know if he's clean, all that stuff, whatever the case may be. If you told me when Jake Paul, before he even started boxing, before he even fought Nate Robinson, if you told me he's going to beat Nate Diaz, he's going to beat Anderson Silva, he's going to beat Mike Perry, he's going to knock out Tyron Woodley, I would have been like, you're full of shit, man. This Disney kid ain't going to do all that. He did. He deserves the credit. And yeah, man, he's the MMA killer, right? So I think it's perfect that he's calling out the people he's calling out. You saw him calling out Alex Pereira. That's genius.
Gets killed.
But he knows that's not going to happen. How is he going to fight Alex Pereira? You think Dana White's really going to be like, all right, let's set this up?
Yeah, of course. It's clever
It's
because
the perfect
you got everybody
call-out.
saying, yeah.
Who's the scariest? Who's the biggest? Who's the hardest puncher? That's the guy I'm going to call out because Dana White is not going to let it happen. So I get to continue to look like the boogeyman and, oh, you can't fight me because look at the contract that you're in. You're held slave over there. That's what he's going to make it out to look like.
This to me really highlights the if you didn't know, if you were maybe a boxing fan, or maybe you're just lucky and young, but maybe you didn't understand how boxing promotion and production works. But to be fair, Jake Paul is being a perfect example of how it works, how it all works. And he already had the edge up. He was already a celebrity. He was already a star, similar to that of which in the old days, if you were a Olympian back in the TV era of media, it was easy to make a star out of you because everybody knows your name, put you in the right fights. Let's face it, Jake deserves all his credit. He also deserves credit for what he does outside of the ring as far as matchmaking. I tell everybody this all the time. There's only two things you control, right? You control your weight and who exactly are you fighting? That first choice. Who am I fighting? That's it. After that, up in the air.
Did you
Sean,
mention
up,
the term Olympian?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, guess what? Jake Paul is going to be the Olympic mindset coach, I guess, whatever the fuck that means. So, yeah, he's going to be with Team USA. Helping their
real?
That's fucking real, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever
Is that real?
That's real shit, dude.
I did hear that he's going to be part of like Team USA Boxing.
Mindset
Team
coach.
USA Boxing?
Yes.
As a mindset coach.
Mindset. I don't know what that means.
I kind of like it. I mean, think about the kind of mindset you have to be Jake Paul and move in this direction to get into this sport and do the things he's done. I mean, you have to have a strong mentality, especially who takes more criticism than Jake Paul. I'll wait. So if you have to deal with criticism, like dealing with criticism is one of the things that you have to do with having a strong mind. If like, hey, you really have to have a strong mindset to deal with this kind of criticism, who better than Jake Paul?
I mean,
to be honest,
as far as setting goals and going for them, I get it, and he's doing what he has to do. But like once I said, this really comes back to the ability to manipulate production of boxing. You move him along, you get people paying attention, you put him against talent, so to speak, and he was supposed to win against like Tommy. He was supposed to. Tommy beats him. Then they go this other route, move him in a different weight class, got him, fighting some guys you never heard of, and then build him up into another fight. Like all of this is just perfect old school, legit textbook how to make a fighter famous. The collegiate course of how to run a boxing promotion. This is exactly how it's done. So good for them. They're nailing it. But one thing I want to see, and since he keeps barking that way and he keeps talking that way and he signed a contract, we're going to talk about it now. Talk about MMA. You want to fight MMA. You want to be over the MMA. He already signed a deal in PFL. We know got a lot of questions when things going to happen. I keep telling everybody, you can't just throw fights together. They're putting together a big card that's going to be worthy of pay-per-view. And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just throwing these things out there. And I'm using this way too much and I'm going to keep going for it. So the point is, later this year, Francis earlier today saying the return of the Ngannou's happening for sure in MMA. Set on a card later in Saudi Arabia, which kind of gives us the prediction that they're putting together a super card. Most likely, we're going to see the Pacheco, cyborg stuff. We'll probably see Douglas Lima and the other stars and things we know of from their organization kind of packed in. And also, let's just also could be the debut of Jake Paul. Could be. It really could happen on that card. So let's talk about the person that matters though. Ngannou coming back to MMA after many dances now, more than we thought. He stayed in the boxing room longer than we thought. We thought it was a visit, motherfucker, and then had to get a work visa because he ended up living there for a little while. Sean, you happy? You happy to see or hear of Ngannou saying like, "Hey, it's happening. I'm coming back for sure"?
I don't know. It was more fun for me to see him dip his feet into the boxing side of things. Get a fight with Tyson Fury, take him far. I thought there was a chance he beat Tyson. You know what I mean? Then you go and get knocked out by Anthony Joshua, and I almost didn't want to see him step out there and fight anybody else in a boxing match. But at the same time, I don't really want to see him fight anybody besides the top people in MMA either. And I don't really think this competition, not to knock the guy, is the matchup that I want to see Francis in an MMA fight. Maybe this is just a tune-up to get him back into MMA, but that's kind of where I'm standing. I want to see the big fights with Francis while he has time left in the sport, and I'm just interested in where that's going to go with it.
All right. Well, I'll be fair to this. Maybe I'll go too far. Maybe I'll be that guy, ranking people inappropriately. But I'll say this: Renan Ferreira, his opponent, is at least a ranked fighter in current modern UFC, like right today's heavyweight rankings. Ricky, do you think I'm stupid for saying that out loud on recording?
I mean, no, to be honest, like, first of all, heavyweight isn't the deepest division. There just aren't men that big, and when they are, they usually play football or basketball or some other sport besides fighting. So yeah, no, you're not wrong, dude. That, if you are a good heavyweight, which he is, yeah, you're definitely one of the ranked ones. So I don't think this is like some BS easy fight, but for Francis, it's just tough to sell that fight because of the guys you just fought. Like, you just fought two of the biggest names in combat sports in the entire world in AJ and Fury. How do you get bigger than that? You don't get bigger than that. There's no other fight bigger than that. In MMA, there's only one fight bigger than that, and that's John Jones. And we know that's never going to happen. So Francis is doing what he has to do. And
hold up, not never. Turkey and Dana talked, and they said it's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone can make it happen, bro, Turkey can make it happen.
Just wanted to throw that up there.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. For right now, I'm not gonna go ahead and get excited for it. When I see it, when I hear Dana speak to it more, then maybe I'll start getting a little excited for it. But right now, I'm not getting excited. John Jones has his own shit to do. Francis has his own shit to do. I don't know how much longer both of them are going to be around, especially John Jones in the sport. So I don't know. But for Francis, man, it's great just because of the fact of the real life shit he's going through. If you're not aware, the passing of his child, like, that's heavy, man. And maybe Francis needs to get into fight camp. Maybe he needs a fight. Maybe he needs something to go and exercise those demons. And may God be with his opponent. Because if Francis was scary before, to say that Francis is going to have this demonic fire under him now is even scarier. So maybe Francis needs this to clear his head, to stay active, to do what he does and fight. So, for Francis, obviously, huge fan of him before. Losing your child is going to make me a fan of yours. I was always a huge fan, but it is going to make me root for you that much more just because I not only couldn't I imagine, I don't want to imagine some type of pain like that. So love Francis, man. I hope he goes out there and gets the job done. And, we'll see what's next for him. Anthony Joshua told him after their fight, like, don't stop boxing. Like, AJ was like, you're good. Like, he's good. He just isn't here, but he's good. Like, he should keep boxing. And he told him, keep boxing. Like, keep doing it. I think why can't they take a page out of the Jake Paul book? Go and box some guys who aren't Fury, who aren't Usyk, who aren't Joshua, but you feel like, hey, this guy is a legitimate boxer, but we feel like we can beat this guy. We definitely feel like we have the advantage and box him, get better, and then maybe you set up another bigger fight down the line. You know what I mean?
I think that's very well a possibility, but the problem is, Turkey's funding these fights that he's having, and they're doing that for image and impact and views, and Saudi Arabia in your living room, Riyadh season, all in your face.
Mhm.
That's what they're paying for. And that's not going to happen with Francis building his way up at a 30, however late in life he
Why
is.
can't he be on the undercard of one of those massive fights?
But I'm not saying no. You know who he would match up real well with right now? I think the fight would be just as good as it was when Francis hadn't fought yet and we were just throwing names around. I
Don't you
think you
dare
guys
say it.
already know who I'm saying.
Dare
The
say
king of getting knocked out recently,
I
Deontay
hate you.
Wilder.
Deontay
I
Wilder.
hate
That's
both of
right.
you. I
Boom.
hate both of you.
That's right. Sean, you're picking
He's
up what I was
retired.
putting down. I was handing the baton. You picked it up. Grab it, bro. Run.
Ricky, he's not retired. We all know he's not retired. Everybody who gets knocked out just says they're retired and then they come back. It's the tale of old time. Like, he's gonna come back. And Francis is the person to knock him out again, and I hope it's a win that Francis can get under his belt. I think that's a good fight. I think he puts him to sleep. Deontay Bomb Squad? Yeah, I don't think so anymore.
Bum squad. More like
Yeah,
bum
it's more
squad.
Fucking
more like
Bum
it's more like
I
squad.
wish we were in a studio together. I'll fight you guys right now.
fucking Fourth of July smoke grenade is what Deontay Wilder is. Bomb squad my ass, dude. This guy, I don't know, man. I was a fan, and then disappointment, let down time and time again. What was his last knockout? Charlie Z in the fucking, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy shit, guys. But hey, who knows?
Who knows? Who does know? Ricky, I know. I'm going to give you time to fire back on that. I'm not going to.
Deontay is retired. Okay, stay retired, Deontay Wilder. You did your thing. You had your run. Stay retired. You don't need to fight anybody else. Just leave it at what it is.
Except for
Unless you want to fight Jake Paul, you know what I mean. Go ahead. But other than that, he's retired. He's good to go. And yeah, man, we're excited to see Francis. And is anybody concerned, Rob? I think you might be. Are you concerned at all for Francis for this next fight coming back from that KO loss?
You know, here's the thing.
I mean, that was a bad knockout, man. That wasn't some Conor McGregor, Floyd, kind of get finished on your feet. Like that was, yo, is he gonna fucking wake up type knockout?
The reason why I'm gonna say no to this is the timetable. My timetable for like worrying about a quick turnaround from knockouts has already passed, and they're talking about doing this shit in like November. So, like for me, plenty of time, personally. But yes, that's always a concern. That's not just a concern in the sense of how long has it been since the last time we've seen Francis get finished? A long ass time ago, a million years ago. And how was he that time? Well, he was mild. He was timid. He was not the predator that night against Derek Lewis. We all remember how boring that was. No need to go there. But that night was the only night we saw Francis be out of character, right? Well, hey, he's had out of character, out of world. Hope to God people don't have this kind of experience, but unfortunately people do. He's had other kind of experiences now. So there's really some external X factors on this fight that doesn't make sense, but we got to give credit to Renan Ferreira. I think maybe we might be thinking of that. And we got to. The guy is humongous, like colossal, gigantic. Folks, I don't really think you might fully appreciate it unless you're a PFL fan and you're watching. I was telling these guys like before we started recording.
Call us.
Yeah, I tell you,
fellas, fellas, and then I paused.
There was a lot of F words, bro.
Like,
you gotta be
like not that.
a lot of F words.
I wasn't going there. Ferrero. Anyways, so the point being is the dude was in a triangle, and by Fabricio Verdum, by the way, more F words. And Verdum had him. Verdum is huge. You guys know that. And he was able to punch his way, KO, TKO Verdum through he was fully stuck in a triangle, man. Like that's unheard of. That's absurd. So when you talk about the heavyweights and how gigantic they are, don't pretend like we haven't seen like fluke wins. So guys who are actually pretty good and gigantic, like stuff happens, man. This is why this is always and forever will be the magic of heavyweight. So there's that. There's all that stuff. Now, I want to go further. I want to go to the next topics, but we can't.
We
Gotta
can't
mention-
because hold on. Sorry, I have to
Who's
say
what?
sorry to Deontay Wilder. I'm sorry, Deontay Wilder.
Good man. Good man.
I hope you know we're joking, Deontay. We
Conor
appreciate
McGregor
you.
style.
All
Delete
right.
the tweet. Conor
Moving
McGregor
on.
style. Delete the tweet. dog.
We got to thank, when we're not deleting this, we got to thank the AllStar and their wonderful app. Download it now. Available in the Play Store, fully customizable. Get only the sports and news feeds that you want. But most importantly, exclusive MMA content. Exclusive MMA content. Make UFC picks and create your own league. Play with others. Have fun. Enjoy. No ads, no money, just an awesome time.
Play with
all
others.
right.
Or play with yourself. Whatever you want to do.
I mean, hey, shit. That's what's up. So going into, I just want to touch real quick back onto the topic of like retirements in combat sports. And this is not a planned topic, so I'm just kind of shooting from the hip. Mo Law, King Mo Law, I want to give him credit, fought in the other leagues, and everybody remembers the name. He's back in after retirement, which is a loose term in combat sports, is now back into BKFC. I just want to get you guys' thoughts in, retiring for a good while, like almost it feels like a good while. I gotta look it up. But then just jumping into bare knuckle. Ricky, I know you remember King Mo. What's up?
Everybody remembers King Mo. I'm trying to remember the last King Mo fight I saw. I remember King Mo. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw King Mo fight. But as far as bare knuckle, like any fighter who retires to me means I'm a bare knuckle fighter now anyway. Like it's not that surprising to me. If you go, I'm retired, it means I'm going to bare knuckle. Like that's kind of where they go. And yeah, King Mo makes sense. Like I don't see why not. I'm not, it's not like he's going to go out there against the world's most elite fighters in the world. And like, oh God, I'm scared for him. Like he could do extremely well. Who knows? I haven't seen him. Like I got to see him first to be like, all right, stop doing this or you're good here.
I got you. Sean, just the thought of like combat sports retirement not really meaning much because not just King Mo, I'll throw out a bigger name, Manny Pacquiao. He'll be fighting over there, Ryzen this week too. Like fighting over Japan, the Ageless Wonder, just like for retirement.
I don't think you guys can. I don't think we can get certain people to step away from combat. It's just in their blood. If there's a fight opportunity given to them, they're gonna take it. Especially, I mean, if you're a fighter, top of the line, top of the game you're in. You're out in public. You're gonna see people in public. What are they gonna say to you? When's your next fight? When's your next fight? Not everybody knows you're retired, but a lot of people will know you're a fighter. You have scars in your face, this, that. When's your next fight? When's your next fight? That question has to irk people, especially after retirement, because it's like, hey, maybe I can get in there and do it one more time. Maybe I can get in there and do it one more time. And I think this happens to a lot of guys where they're floating around and people might not know they're retired. They know they're a fighter, and it really gets their brain turning that they can do it one more time because that itch and that, hey, I do have a fight coming up. That feeling probably is a thing that gets them going, gets them out of the bed. So, yeah, I don't know. I understand why it keeps happening, but do I like it? No.
I mean, Ricky knows about a itch or a thing that gets him out of bed.
I was like, curiosity. I need to know if I'm like, I can't remember the last time King Mo fought. Obviously, I have to know. Last 4 fights for King Mo. Obviously, the headliner in 2018 against Ryan Bader, TKO loss. Then again in 2018, 8 months later, TKO loss against Liam McGarry. And then in 2019 in Ryzen, TKO loss to Yuri Prohaska. And then 2019, a KO loss to Andrew Keppel is his name. But anyway, those are his last 4. 2019 was the last fight he's had. So yeah, man, good luck to you, King Mo. You're not fighting Yuri Prohaska. You're not fighting Ryan Bader. So like I said, it's bare knuckle, man. It's funny because I should be like, fuck, it's bare knuckle. I'm really, really concerned for you. I'm concerned about like the blood and your teeth and the scar tissue you're about to get from there. But in terms of like, oh man, something like you're just going to be way out of your league. I don't know if there's any former professional fighter, especially at that level, that will be out of their league in bare knuckle.
Yeah, I'll just play counter opposite to that just for a second. It's those consecutive KO, TKO losses that you're speaking of That was also a while ago. I get it. Hopefully that means he's healed up and it's all good. And bygones be bygones. And we're talking about fighting the Prohaskas, not the Jimmy, whatever's. So like, and no shout out, no disrespect to any fighters named Jimmy. Like I don't know why I picked Jimmy there, but so like you know what I mean. I don't know, but good luck, Mo. I'm gonna watch it, so we'll be there. But since we're on BKFC, man, BKFC's making consistent headlines week after week, one way or another. Something that really didn't have nothing to do with it. McGregor puts out one tweet, gets everything inside out, gets the whole media file lined up, and everybody's paying attention to the story. McGregor puts a post out there. If you didn't see it, he tweeted, basically, I'm paraphrasing that he's firing Mike Perry for fighting like shit against Jake Paul, and because he's a part owner now, blah blah blah. Mike Perry fires back, dude. I'm part owner. You're not firing shit, and plus he has a contract. It's not really how that works, I don't think. Plus, I don't know how much McGregor owns. We don't know. We don't know how much percentage he even owns. Does he even have a controlling stake to be able to say such a thing? So all these questions we don't know, but it is interesting that people are gravitating to now not just a fighting of BKFC. And to me, this is how something grows. They're now gravitating to a story that involves BKFC, excuse me. So versus not just like, hey, what's going on in the next fight? This is drama within it, and people care. People want to know. This is good in a weird ass way. Is this real drama? McGregor being stupid? Like, because it was a late night text. Everybody was saying he was on some shit. So is this like Conor being crazy, or is this like him being a master at promotion and getting people to fucking talk about what he wants people to talk about?
I think Conor's just a weirdo. Like Conor's just it's fucking lame, to be honest. Like, because he's done this a lot to a lot of people now. Like he was just backing Mike Perry, and BKFC's behind you, BKFC's own, the king of violence. He's gonna go and fight Jake Paul and all this, like complimenting him one day just to trash on him the next day. And Conor's been doing that to a lot of people lately. And it's like, regardless of how many people, this is why him and Chael Sonnen have issues. So while him and Bisping have been talking shit, Sean O'Malley now has flipped on Conor, been like, fuck that dude, bro. Like, he's weird. Like, he's just lame. Like, he just keeps doing this just to get his name out. I don't know what's going on with Conor. I don't think it's some, like, mastermind plot, to be honest. I just think that that's just what Conor does. Like, he just is amused at himself, to be honest with you. I think he's just finding amusement to be like, oh, yeah, I like to just shit on people whenever they're at their lowest. And I don't know, bro. I just don't get it, and I don't like it.
I would say this. I think this kind of falls into it. Sean was talking a little bit just a bit ago. The whole next fight thing. McGregor's value is so much higher when there's a perceived next fight for him, and I know I called bullshit on this topic before, but Sean, like, is this masterful marketing, or Conor's late night activities caught up with him?
I don't seem to know what you guys are talking about with tweets or this. I don't know if I'd caught this, because you want to know why? This motherfucker Conor McGregor has me blocked, and he's had me blocked for a really long time. So I don't know what the fuck Conor's ever tweeting about or Conor's ever saying. Yeah, this
Conor was basically just shitting on Mike Perry immediately after the loss. He was like,
"No,
he said
I'm just busting your balls." But yeah, this motherfucker has me blocked, so I can't see it in real time. I always catch the little delay, and yeah, it pisses me off. Conor, good, fair on you, but you did it to everybody else too. Like Ricky was saying, he shits on Sean O'Malley, he shits on. I think, I don't know if Rob or Ricky said it, but Chael Sonnen, like all these Bisping, all these fighters or former fighters too. Like, what are you doing, dude? Does he have
my whole thing is for no reason. Like, there's no reason to, like, if you're shitting on, like, if he wants to go and just attack Dustin Poirier all day, attack Khabib all day, attack Michael Chandler all day, like, there's a reason for it. I don't give a fuck. That only makes the fight cooler.
I don't even think there's a reason for those, bro.
Well, because I'm saying, like, those are legitimate. Like, he legitimately fucking hates Khabib. Like, and I'm saying, like, Dustin, I think he legitimately fucking hates Dustin. Like, there's no nice thing he's ever gonna say about Khabib or Dustin. Michael Chandler is his next opponent. That's what I'm saying. But I like, that makes sense for, like, Bisping and Sean O'Malley, Mike Perry. It's like, why? It doesn't even make any sense. Even for Mike Perry to be like, okay, if this is a promotional ploy, why do you have to shit on him to get people excited for his next fight in BKFC? If that's the case, just be like, hey, fuck all that. Come fight him in BKFC and see what would happen. This is why he's the king of our sport. This is why he's in our sport, because no one's fucking with him here in BKFC. That pussy ass sport that you know what I mean? Some shit around that line. Not I'm gonna shit on the biggest star we have in our company right now. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Why would you want to devalue your most precious star? Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah,
Sean, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. He confuses the fuck out of me at all times, but I think he confuses everybody.
Confuses
himself? This guy's a wild, I don't know, wild ball or wild character. I think he's been in character in that Roadhouse character since the movies came out. I don't think he's left character. This dude is like full. What is it called? Like method acting. Like
he doesn't. I mean, you know, look at all the kids he has. He clearly doesn't know how to pull out. You know, like
this is kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know what goes on in Connor's brain, but dude, imagine just seeing. I don't know if I'd want to be there. The thoughts that go on in Connor's brain, but the dude is like wired way differently than a lot of us. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, wired. I just don't like it, man. I don't like that shit at all. I mean, like, okay, if you are part owner, like Rob said, we don't know how much ownership he has in BKC, but let's just say you are in some way now Mike Perry's boss. Okay, could you imagine if Connor went and fought Floyd, and afterwards Dana White was like, that fucking dude sucks. He'll never be back in the UFC again. Like, what a fucking disgrace. Like, this guy sucks ass. You know what I mean? Like,
he'll fight in smelly fucking armpit championship.
Yeah. Or maybe that's what it is. Connor's pissed at Mike starting his own promotion and shit. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, that's but it's just corny. Like, why would you do that immediately after? Especially when you're big up in the dude. I mean, you have Mike Perry being like, "Fuck yeah, Connor!" Like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And people are like, "Oh, Connor's giving you a lot of praise, hyping you up." He's like, "Fuck yeah, like I like Connor, bro." And then just to shit on him afterwards, like that's lame, bro. Keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying. If you're cool with the guy, be cool with him. If you don't like him, then don't act like you like him. Like, just keep the same energy. And right now, he's being a back and forth little flip floppy bitch. I don't like it.
Did Feldman say anything?
No, wait. Nobody likes flip floppy bitches. Like, let's just be honest. Nobody likes them. Why?
Feldman did not say anything. Not that I've seen, at least.
Sean, what did you say, bro? Sorry, what?
No, I was just saying if Feldman said anything like about. So they're just on like Connor run with the statement. Just
that is weird too, right? Not to be like, hey. Yeah, no, Mike Perry is not fired. Mike Perry will be back. Like, he didn't say shit.
Historically, Dave Feldman does very little damage control. Like, remember when he came on stage and was like, "I'm not paying you shitty fighters because you're boring and shitty." I don't know if you guys remember. This is early BKFC. Two guys stunk it up and were just not engaging, and he was like, "I'm paying guys half or some shit like that." He presented. It wasn't real. He paid him their contract money, but everybody's like, Dave. Well, what happened was there was a low energy in the fight. Those guys really brought the energy low with a real shit fight. He did that shit. Even though he did actually pay them correctly. The fight turned awesome. All the rest of the fights were fucking firefights after that. That's a great promoter. But a lot of people were dissing. You can't do that. It's unethical. Man, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, and just people ran with it. He's a piece, and I've seen it still to this day. He's a piece of shit guy. If he doesn't like the fights, he'll just cut their fighters pay in half, or he won't pay them. Like, no, that's not what happens. So, anyways, the point being is, Dave Feldman doesn't really clean up messes. He'll knock over a fucking cup of fucking soda and just let that shit linger.
It's a pretty big mess, bro. Like, that's a pretty big mess that I think you should probably want to, or at least somebody needs to clean up. Like, you can't just let your new part owner be like, yeah, our biggest star's fired. Everyone's like, so is he?
Dude,
we'll see.
I mean, hey, I totally support what you're saying. I don't know, but this is the beauty of BKFC. I feel like I'm really reliving, not in a copycat way, but like a 2.0, watching the birth of a new sport, just like I watched the UFC be born, just like I watched the MMA be born into what it is now. Like, BKFC is in such this weird, unique, doofusy time. Anyways, moving on from that, born from real boxing is BKFC, of course. Well, BKFC was real boxing, if you want to get technical. Anyways, fuck technicalities and fuck weight classes and fuck all the bullshit in real boxing, because once again, the bullshit of boxing has made this our fantasies our hopes, our prayers, our offerings to the fight gods, the numerous requests by millions of people around the world for Canelo versus Benavidez is going unanswered. After, say which, I have to point out fairly and critically that many so-called, and I'm going to say so-called because I'm not in media, like I do commentary and like whatever the hell this is. So these guys who claim to want to push news and be about news, all reporting Benavidez and Canelo set to fight in T-Mobile same weekend as UFC Noche. Oh, blah 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 blah. People writing up stuff. Oh, Dana White does it again. Dana White beats boxing again. This is gonna be like going on and on. Everybody piling on. Guess what? Everything you guys reported, all you outlets, all you faceless people, you go and you write all this stuff, and none of it's true. None of it was true because a real guy, somebody who's actually in media, actually connected, and actually has sources, and you know, people actually should always pay attention to what he says. Goes and Michael Benson, and maybe he's not even the guy who found it. He always gives credit to whoever. So moving on from that, he gets the real facts that Benavidez ain't even. He's elected to choose to stay in a different weight class. That fight is not happening. He's going to be the mandatory and waiting out the outcome of the big mega fight between Beterbiev and Bivol, or Beterbiev if you like saying it that way. All right. So there we go. Lots of stuff I just said. Lots to unpack. This is high level stuff. Big money at stake. And once again, media and the Alphabet Gang and everything else in the mix. Ricky, I'm going to divert to you, man, because I know you love Canelo. I know you love Benavidez, and I know you wanted to see this fight just as much as me and everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I thought Benavidez should be at light heavyweight. Right, when you see him, he's just big, dude. He's big as hell for that weight class. Yeah, he's so much bigger than everybody else. I remember watching him and Caleb Plant, another one of my favorite boxers, and just his size, the sheer size of him compared to Caleb Plant. I was like, damn, he could easily fight at light heavyweight. And it's something that I mentioned before in a previous episode when we were talking about the possibility of Canelo and Benavidez. I said, listen, Benavidez, if you really want that Canelo fight, go and get the thing he was incapable of getting, which is unification at light heavyweight. We know how much Canelo wanted that. We know he really wanted to go out there and take out Bivol and Beterbiev. He couldn't do it. He came back down. He says he wants to go back and do it. He still has his sights set on that weight class. So if you really want Canelo to fight you, have him chase you instead of you chasing him, which is go and become unified. Go and fight the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev, beat them. And now, hey, Canelo, you're saying you want to come back up here. Now's a perfect time. I think that fight can still happen at a higher weight class. I really honestly wouldn't like that for Canelo. I think Canelo actually should be down a weight class that he's fighting in right now, but Canelo's fucking crazy, man. He's done everything he needs to do. So the reports themselves, I mean, they were correct in terms of location. They were correct in terms of date. They just were incorrect in terms of opponent. It's going to be Berlanga is who he's fighting September 14th. So yeah, just that's why, man, you always, especially in boxing, don't get excited when you hear the rumors. Like, wait till you get that credible source to come out and tell you what it is and what it's not. And yeah, for Benavidez, I like it, dude. I really like it for him. I think his size is going to give him an opportunity to fight. I think a lot of people were down on him on his last fight, his last performance, because he couldn't get it. He couldn't get a knockout or something. But every fight's different. Just because he didn't get a knockout in a fight that he clearly won doesn't mean, he can't hang with Bivol or Beterbiev. Like, he could very well go out there and become unified light heavyweight champion. And then, like I said, then the ball's in Canelo's court. You're no longer the one chasing. Now, all of a sudden, if Canelo really does want to become a unified at light heavyweight, he would have to fight Benavidez if Benavidez was the champion there.
Dude, great point. I like your kind of matchmaking you got going on there. I'm actually concerned for Berlanga in that fight. I think Berlanga's really outmatched, outgunned, and it could be a bad night for him in that matchup. Sean, Sorry, Ricky. Sean, your thoughts on not getting the fight that everybody wanted to see?
I don't think it's everybody wanted to see, because I don't mind getting this other matchup with the option of Beterbiev and Bivol. That's more intriguing to me, because I like to see prime guys fight prime guys in their prime. Not saying Canelo's not in his prime anymore, but he's on his tail end, and it's a huge fight. But to me, I I like the idea of, hey, move up, get that, like you said, unified. It's a good option to me. I enjoy it. It's better than sitting around waiting for something that is just a dream. It feels like at times. So that's where I'm standing on it. I definitely think it's a better option.
For sure, and that's going the more traditional route as of, like you said, like Ricky said, grabbing the belts, solidifying yourself as a real champion, at least a unified one, if not undisputed, and then kind of like taking over the division the traditional route versus taking the big name or becoming the face of boxing, as the term that gets thrown around a lot, or the big money fights. And then we've seen that a lot recently, and kind of the resurgence of boxing. To be honest, some of it's why it's being good again is there is some money fights being going on. There are some fights outside of the championship structure that's going on to keep it spicy. So there's a balance to everything. And for me, I'm a little bit with Ricky in the sense of like I'm cool like if Canelo doesn't ever really fight Benavidez, to be honest, because that's gonna be a fight. But to contradict myself right away, if this fight's gonna happen, let's do this shit right now. Let's do this shit.
Like, this is the only
Like,
time, yeah.
yeah, because
Canelo's only
Canelo to me, Canelo
and
still
Benavidez
got
is
it.
only getting bigger and better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canelo still
Yep.
got it, and right, yeah, exactly. So this is the time to know for sure. Because any other time, all we're gonna have is that debate of burger, and who likes that? Nobody does. That's all garbage.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that we've debated a lot, guys. Something that we don't even debate anymore. Something we just all like look at each other and go, "Fuck again." Right? We know what we're talking about. The rules, some of the dumb rules in MMA, some of the rules, the way that we can go on and on about the rules, but we're not gonna be negative about it. We're gonna talk the positivity. There was a rule change. It was actually voted on several months ago. I actually wrote about this on my Twitter. Just search me and put the MMA rule change. I can't remember all the stuff. Anyways, they approved this months ago. It had to go to the Unified Rules Convention Committee in Kentucky that happened.
Right.
Yeah, in the bot. I know, right? There's an annual rules convention that happens to ratifies the rules, I guess, or whatever's that accepts it into the rule books officially from whenever they're accepted. Some bureaucratic bullshit. Anyways, moving on. So it got put into the books officially. Here's where we've talked about this. The unified rules is such a hypocrisy. Apparently, there's still the possibility that certain states can choose to not accept the rule change. So let's just hope to God everybody gets in fucking line and accepts it. Just sign the paperwork and fill it in, people. But the point is, the 12-6 elbow, the old John Jones rule, if everybody likes to remember it that way, is no longer the old karate ice block demonstration rule that wedged itself in from the old pioneer days of the UFC is now gone. So we can use elbows in every direction we want to. We don't have to try to think about it or do vector imaging in our head mid combat. So congratulations, fighters. I'm sure that's one less thing on your mind. And on top of that, something that I know Ricky is an advocate on this topic, and it's not quite what he wants to see, but the rules have changed on a downed opponent. Now, to be a downed opponent, it has to be something other than your feet and hands. It's just that. So your body part, something other than your feet and hands has to be on the ground. How is this going to play out in real life? We still have yet to see, but it's a significant step in the right direction to get rid of what I like to call the patty cake defense. Playing touch butt in the park with the ground to get yourself out of bad spots. Ricky, not quite JMMA or one championship, but a big step in the right direction. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, that whole, especially when it comes, I hope that is going to clear up some of those state to state issues, right? Where is it one hand? Is it two hands? Like that game that they play of, okay, I touch the mat. Okay, I don't touch the mat. Okay, I touch the mat while they're put up against the fence and someone has their back taken, somebody has a body lock around the back. They're having an opportunity to land knees, but they're like putting their hand to the canvas and then, okay, wait for it. Okay, pick it up. Okay, put it back down to make sure I'm down. It's like that was stupid. Why was that even happening in the first place? So the fact that cleans that up is brilliant. And it's a step in the right direction of just allowing knees to a grounded opponent in general. That doesn't do anything for me in terms of that front headlock position, that single leg position when you're on your hands and knees sucking dick. Like, that doesn't take care of that. Aljo can still sit there holding onto somebody's leg with absolutely zero consequences whatsoever. I don't like that. But it is a step in the right direction. Hopefully that can come about as well. But like I said, just that simple portion, that stupid rule of like up against the fence, I'm going to start touching the ground. As long as I can just put my fingers on the mat, I'm safe. Nothing can happen to me. And as soon as I take them off, I could get kneed now. And then how many times have we seen it when they land the knee? And it was like, I think Charles Oliveira was one of them that he had that situation. I think it was like an up kick though, but it was like a down opponent because maybe the hand was down. It was like, I don't know if his hand was down or not. I'm not sure. Like, we can clear all that shit up, and that's good news.
Yes, it's definitely not as rigorous as I wanted. Oh, I don't know what I just did there. I don't. It was not as rigorous of a rule change as I wanted to see. Like, it's not aggressive. That's the word I was looking for. A rule change as I wanted to see, but definitely, I'll keep saying it. Step in the right direction. Sean, what about you? What's your thoughts on this, man?
I don't think it's enough of a rule change either, and I'm wondering right now, there's a committee making rule changes. Why aren't you guys meeting up more often? And why aren't you guys changing more shit? Why isn't there judging being changed? Why isn't there this being changed? There's a lot of stuff that should be changed, but the 12-6 elbow, I think that's minimum. That's like that's very minimal to me. Like, that's
I don't have answers for all of this, but just remember, this is the once a year, the annual committee for like
what the
all the
fuck?
state commissions get together and like approve the rules into the. I don't know. There's a lot of dumb shit, bro. And
Exactly. And we
yeah.
should be calling it out right the fuck now, and that's what I'm gonna do. Meet up way more often. We got Zoom now, motherfuckers. People are going to court on Zoom, and you're telling me you guys can't link up 50 states wide. Listen, if you guys didn't know, right now, me, Rob, and Ricky, we're all in 3 different time zones, so there's no excuse for you old motherfuckers. Hey, if you need people to hire, I'll come over and set up Zoom for you, show you how to do it, because I know you guys are all in your 70s and 80s making these MMA rule changes. So get out there, do some better shit. We want some more effective shit done right now, not just a 12-6 elbow. That should have been changed years ago. Yeah, hop on this shit. I'm pissed the fuck off.
I think
Light them up.
Big John McCarthy is wildly offended, and he's like I'm not 70. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, once you're over 40, it's no big difference.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, I can't wait. Can't wait for you guys.
Once you're 41, you're 70.
You
know what I mean?
Still here. I'm still here. I'm still not dead yet. Right. So I'm happy for this. Obviously, and the reason why I bring up the ultimate guy, Big John, when it comes to rules, is because he's been, bro. Talk about something that's probably been annoying to him forever. I remember listening to him be against the 12-6 elbow, not against it, but like against the rule, against the rule for like ever, man. Like, this guy has been grumbling about that rule forever. And for a guy of his stature, of his status, of his contribution, of his everything he's done for the rules and how they even exist, it's for him to be grumbling for so long to something that finally changed. Like, I'm with Sean, man. Like, they got to do something to speed up this shit. Like, it's ugly. Like, it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't. But hey, we're not here to grumble. We're here to celebrate.
No, we're here to grumble. Because even like Sean said, bro, like the 12-6 elbow, it's like we're supposed to get excited about that. Like, oh yay, the 12-6 elbow. Like, you could 12-6 elbow anymore. Like, there's so much shit that we complain about. Way more than like, oh man, I really wish we could see a 12-6 elbow right now. Like,
time out.
Much more stuff that
we haven't had like an Ung Bak Thai warrior fucking type elephant trunk elbow like style attack. Like, come on, man.
But
you know what I'm talking about.
But you still kind of won't, right? Like, unless it's to the back of the head, which I'm not advocating for that. Like, you can't 12-6 someone to the back of the head. But like, even the 12-6 elbow, like on the side, is kind of like, okay, cool. But they're kind of already doing it. But they're like, well, that's kind of like a 12-7. So like, so it's okay. Where it's like, all right, man, you're still gonna have the same. Like, who was it? Curtis Blades who knocked out wrestler, fucking phenomenal wrestler, heavyweight. A lot of fucking push, a lot of potential. He was on a rise. He fought Curtis Blades. He got fucking knocked out with elbows. Went for a fucking shot, and Curtis Blades started elbowing him. But a couple of those, my point is, there was like 2 of them that were fucking 12-6 elbows, but the ref was like, who?
Spivak?
Nah. Fuck. Oh, Brazilian cat, bro. He used to fight at light heavyweight. Now he's at heavyweight. He's kind of small for the. There you go.
Almeida. Okay.
When Almeida had Curtis Blades knocked him out. There's like 2 elbows in there. We're like, those are 12-6, but like, you're kind of a fucking piece of shit ref if you're like, stop, that was 12-6. You know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna call that shit anyway. What I'm saying is, like, to Sean's point, the 12-6
Cody
elbow wasn't something that
Brundage would get like a. Never mind. I'm moving on.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's not something that the things we talk about the most is, let's fucking figure out when we're taking points away for fence grabs. Let's figure out when we're taking points away for grabbing people's gloves, eye pokes, nut shots, and let's fucking try to figure out a system that doesn't leave it all up to the refs, because we'll see one fight, a guy fucking eye poked a dude, a guy nut kick him and grab the fence and no points get taken away. On another fight, somebody eye pokes him, it's like, yeah, you're losing a point. We're like, what the fuck? Like, those are the bigger issues, because we see those from fight to fight. Like 12-6 elbows, like, great. I'm not saying I don't give a fuck at all, but that is just like, it's so small and comparative to the things that we've been wanting to address in MMA in terms of the rule sets.
I fully fucking agree with you, bro. I do. And at the same time, I'm still gonna be positive on this and say that at least the knee thing is, once again, big step in the right direction. I like it a lot. Okay, I'm gonna focus on the knee thing that I'm happy about, but also present that I said it in the beginning. The fact that now it's possible for certain states to not adopt it. I'm not going to use the word refuse. Just certain states could choose or elect to not adopt it. We could literally run into an even worse shotgun. Like, just theoretically, we could run into a very shotgun like mess of what states have and don't have fucking knees on the ground, or the redefinition of what a grounded opponent is. Excuse me. So. Yeah. I mean,
shout out Atlanta and shout out Georgia and shout out Colorado.
That's right.
Fucking Nisa grounded opponent, baby.
Sean, your thoughts on the possibility of like a very fragmented rules, landscape of rules?
Rob, you're gonna piss me off again, dude.
You.
That's exactly where I don't want this to go, and it should be everybody should be on the same page. If the sport is legal in the United States and it's legal across your states, we should all be fighting under the same rule sets. It just like pisses me off how it's like one state to the next, to the next, the next. We're not different countries. We're just different states. We're like, come on, what the fuck are we doing?
He looks like he's dropping out. He's dropping out. Sean has officially made the new confederacy happen, everyone. It's the MMA confederacy, not like the old one. Has nothing to do with that. I don't know. What's the chances of of you leaving? I was like, what's the chances that this gets better or gets worse because of the scatteredness? Like, I know it's 50-50 technically, but like, what do you think? Do you think it's going to get better, or do you think it's going to make it worse?
It'll make it better, but I mean, like I said, it's this much better, right? It's this much better. It's the meme of like underwork staff, and it's like company pizza party. Like, this is what this is. It's the company pizza party, bro. Like, it ain't shit, but it's something. We ain't gonna bitch complain about. We're not gonna be like, nah, get rid of that. Like, we rather have these really unclear knees to grounded opponents, or like, what is a downed opponent rule. We rather have that. We'd rather have a legal 12-6 elbows. Like, no, it's great. Like, it's fine, it's good, it is what it is. So hopefully, like we said, I think all three of us have said, step in the right direction. This is what it is. It's a small fucking step. It's a baby step. It is a toddler wobble, but it's something.
There you go. Toddler wobbling our way into the future of combat sports. Guys, I think it's right about that time. You know what time it is. Time where we say thank you. Thanks to everybody who's watched so far. Support us. Come to the space, hang out. Shout out Charles Johnson coming out last week during the space, hanging out. Shout out Mr. Tate, getting to meet her this past week. Getting her to shout out a little bit in the space too. Sean, any people, things, or whatever's you want to thank? Obviously, the bureaucracy of combat sports is your favorite thing. What's your thought?
Just letting y'all know, Magic did it. You can do it. We live in right now. Stop. Another week, guys. Catch us next week. I love you guys. Thanks for checking us out. Like, subscribe. Always hot topics here at the All-Star and Split Decisions.
That's where Sean used to work in high school. Hot topics.
Hey, Ricky, what about you? Thankful for?
Nothing. I fucking hate everybody watching. Anybody that has subscribed or watched everything, I fucking hate you. Don't know what you're doing with your life. Stop. Don't watch. Unsubscribe. Like, unsubscribe. You know,
Yeah.
if you're still subscribed to this, I don't know what you're doing. I'm just playing. Appreciate it for everything, for everyone. Spaces is going to be fucking lit this weekend because we're done with these shit cards that Rob and only Rob loved. We're finally done with that bullshit. We're back on the real shit. We're back on that real fight. Nate Diaz. This is what real fight is, motherfucker. This is what we're talking about. Great card coming up. Join us in the spaces for this phenomenal card coming up on Saturday. And then post-fight clarity. Join us. Hopefully I won't have fucking food poisoning this coming Sunday. But I really hope I don't. And join us so we can get back to chatting with y'all in there. That's been going great, man. So you'll see some more shit. You'll see a bunch of clips and stuff. So yeah, tap in.
Definitely. I wish you non-food poisoning this week, my bro. That's everybody knows. Everybody knows how that rodeo goes. It's not good. Well then, definitely see you guys in all those locations that the guys just mentioned. Guys, thanks for you. Thanks for putting that's a good laughs and good stuff. Learned a bunch of stuff as usual, and it's been a good time. See you next time. All right.